morning. This relatively quick video is about the Crosse Technology WS-7038U rain gauge. This was something I picked up brand new in the box from a Goodwill. Paid, I'm not exactly sure, but possibly $12 for it. It originally sold for I think $60, possibly around 2006. And you might wonder why I'm giving a review on something that is almost, I don't know, 16 years old. But just in case you run across one brand new or see one on eBay or something like that, this thing, when it worked pretty well. It runs on 433.92 megahertz, and it displayed the time and a week-long history of the rain in tenths of an inch. You could program it with the amount of rain that there had been, and it would keep track of it. Or you could just start it out, clear it at the beginning of the year, and let it run, and it would keep track of the rain for you. It comes with a rain alarm. Once it starts raining, it tips a bucket in here, and that would you could trigger an alarm with it. The way it works is rain falls in this. It's calibrated size. The water is funneled in, fills one of these two buckets, and when it's full, it tips. When it tips, a reed switch is activated, and it transmits that 1/10 of an inch of rain has fallen to this. And then water can continue to fall into this side till it fills, and then it tips and the water drains out the bottom. And it just repeats doing that as long as it's raining. I have compared this to a old-fashioned rain gauge, which is just basically a tube you stick in the ground with a gauge on the side of it, and they pretty much match. So it's relatively accurate enough. I mean, short of being an official meteorological thing. The insides of this are in a sealed box. There's a little rubber seal, and it just contains the reed switch, a crystal, and a little chip on board, GABA snot chip, or whatever you want to call these things. And it runs off of 2 AA batteries. Supposedly has a range of, I think it's 100 meters, or about 300 feet, give or take. And this has an LCD display. The problems I ran into this, I mean, like I said, when I first got it, it worked perfectly. And it worked great for about 2 years. And then it started doing strange things. And I'm not entirely sure of the mode of failure on this thing. The transmitter always works. And the way you would set this up is you would put the batteries in this one, and then immediately put the batteries in this one, and then keep these within a couple of feet of each other, and it was supposed to, this thing would start sending out little bursts of radio waves and this thing would sense it, and that would lock it onto it. And it's supposed to do that like every so often. I'm not sure, I'd have to look it up. And if this thing lost the signal from this thing, then the display would read 0. If rain started, sometimes it would show the rain had happened, and it would be measuring it, but within a certain amount of time of the rain ending, it would lose the information. And I don't know, because I don't have any information on how this thing works exactly. I know this would store how much rain it had received, but what I would notice would happen is it would just, all of a sudden, this would be blank, or it would just be 0. And sometimes if you went out and manually hit this a few times, nothing would happen here, but then out of nowhere it would show, however many times you move this, it would suddenly show up. And I left it out for about another year after it quit working right. I thought maybe it was because the transmitter wasn't working, so I recapped it in here. There was only one capacitor. Didn't help. Briefly, it seemed to help that I put this outside near it, within about 3 feet, and then it just kind of quit working properly after that. Before I took it apart, I was testing it, and it still was sort of working, but it just was not being reliable. So I replaced it with a completely different weather station, which I may do a review on later once I've had a chance to see how well it works. So that's it. I mean, if you get one of these and it's brand new, it may work for you for a year or two. May crap out. I don't know. Might even, I suppose it might even work for years, but in my case, I got 2 good years out of it. And that was it. Thanks for watching.